questions, but you can also submit questions using the Frankly app from the comfort of your chair. We're going to go ahead and begin. You ready for some questions?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hi, my name is Rachel, and I was wondering what it was like to work with Loki on set.
Loki and Tom are two different people. They're both slightly insane, but in a very good way. Most of my favourite stuff is working with Tom, whether it's in Avengers or Thor, and he's, that's why you love him. He's incredible on screen and just so much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How did that charisma or that dynamic gel? Because, two actors coming on set, how'd you guys kind of develop that relationship?
We were both just like two big kids, We had the same love for acting and for these comic books and these characters as each other, and just had fun with it. Every day was a joy. None of it ever felt like work. And also started, in our careers at the same time. And this was Thor was the biggest thing I'd ever been a part of, and for Tom. So we both had that sort of appreciation and enjoyment.
Yeah, and speaking of big things to be a part of, I just want to take a moment to say your lovely wife and yourself look great at the Oscars, and a big congratulations on your coming attraction, twins, right?
It's going to get a whole lot busier at my house. So very exciting. Hopefully they're holding on and they're not coming right now. They're in LA and I'm here.
Then you have to leave, yeah.
I have to run out of this panel, which I don't want to do.
Yes, sir.
I had two questions, actually. First one was, how did you get into SAG-AFTRA? And the second question is, what do you use to get into character?
Well, we're going to actually stick with that first question because we've got a lot of people to get through.
What was the first one? How do I what?
How did you get into SAG-AFTRA?
Oh, well, just got the job. Got a job, any job. And then it's sort of, I think it was Star Trek, I think, was one of the first things I did in the States. And that sort of, got me in the door. Yeah. So, and then getting into character, depends what it is. I mean, research, and in this case, Thor has just read as many comic books as I could and had, great people to work with and bounce off.
And channel a guy.
And channel the thunder gods.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Spent a lot of time in the rain, in the storms.
Hi there.
Hi, I have a question on the Frankly chat app here, but a lot of people are wondering, what kind of conditioner do you use?
Hard-hitting questions here, Chris.
Whatever my wife's got in the bathroom. I can't say I have a favourite conditioner or a brand that I'd like to plug at the moment. L'Oreal.
Hi.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
And I was wondering, was there ever like a big mistake that you made on set or anything like that, where you thought, man, I'm never going to recover from this, but you really did?
Just about every day. I think it's sort of a natural thing as an actor to think you're never going to get hired again, and each thing you do feels like somewhat of a mistake, but that's kind of the fun, it's got to be a risk, and many things don't work, and I think in amongst them, the things that do end up being, the special moments, hopefully. But me and Tom did a big fight scene one time, and he's told this story many times because he likes to have a little whinge about it, cry. But I accidentally elbowed him in the nose, and rivers of blood, as he explains it. He had like rivers of tears. It was a mistake, though, so yes.
You didn't actually need to.
I'm not sure, maybe I did. It was annoying me a little that day. Subconsciously, maybe it happened.
Note to self, don't piss you off right now. Okay. Hi.
First, I want to say you're very beautiful. My question is, when you spend quality time with your brothers, what do you guys like to do for fun? Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, we surf a lot, and we grew up in the bush in Australia and got into all sorts of trouble and spent a lot of time hurting each other accidentally. But we had all sorts of rope swings and motorbikes and things that we'd entertain ourselves with, and all sorts of dangerous contraptions. Yeah, these days it's just kind of hang out. We don't see much of each other. Shooting Hunger Games in Atlanta at the moment, and my old brother Luke travels around too, so normal stuff.
But you did get together for that Kimmel bit, the Bitman Begins.
Jimmy Kimmel's a friend of mine and called me up and asked if we wanted to do it. And I said, yeah, sure. I didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, you can catch it online. Hi.
It also is a great honor because you're my favorite superhero.
Oh, you're my favorite band.
My question is, who is your favorite superhero, or not superhero, villain? In Marvel.
Is it Loki? No? That's the obvious one. Let me think.
There's so many to choose from, a whole universe of them.
What's I should know this. Who's the female devil-like from hell? What's her name?
Oh, not Mephistopheles, is not.
I can't even pronounce it. You made that up, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Scarlet Witch is pretty awesome. And Loki. There you go.
And Loki, yeah.
Loki's also a girl in some of the comic books, so maybe, yeah.
But she cries less than Tom Hiddleston, right?
She what?
She cries less than Tom
Of course,
Hiddleston,
of
right?
course.
You've probably heard this 1,000 times, but you are extremely sexy.
Okay.
My question is, can you do any impressions like Tom Hiddleston can?
Oh, Tom? Oh.
Like any impression at all?
No, he's the dancer, and have you seen him dance? It's pretty interesting, isn't it? Dancing? No, not really. I know Tom used to make this sound every time we'd have a fight scene, and he'd say to me, every time I threw a punch, I'd be like, and he'd go, and his sound was, I don't know what it was, but it kind of went like this. It was like,
It kind of sounds like something about the cat. I said, what is that, Tom? He said, I don't know, it comes out of me.
Thank you.
That's my 12-minute fight scene impression.
I was actually wondering how much of the mythology you actually read before you became Thor.
Ken Branagh gave me a big book on Norse mythology right when just before we started shooting, and then obviously a lot of comic books and what have you. And the big thing I took away was the fatalistic kind of way that the Vikings lived, and they lived as though every day or every battle could potentially be their last. It was all preordained, and if they were to die this day, then so be it. So they went out with this fearlessness, and that was what we, kind of blended into Thor's attitude to fighting and to everything he did, which was, might be his last day or his last moment. So give it everything he could, and it's fascinating stuff.
I just wanted to say that you bring Thor great honor by your performance.
All right, thanks a lot.
Actually, in addition to Thor, Rush was a great, compelling movie. Really dug it. Everybody see Rush out there? Did you, it didn't seem like Hunt was a hero or a villain in it, and Lauda was never a hero or a villain. Was that the intention going in, that you didn't quite know who to root for?
Yeah, that was the true story, between these two characters, that they were had completely different approaches to life and to the sport. One was a playboy rock star, and full of risk. The other one was the mathematician and absolutely calculated everything he did, but equally as talented. When reading up on these two characters, you didn't know who you wanted to win. There were things you could fault about both of them and things you could love. But that was a lot of fun playing that, especially trying to fit into the Formula One car.
Yeah.
I just finished Avengers, and so I had to, not eat and run and sweat and try to slim down. We had to take the seat out of the car. I was just sitting basically in the chassis of the car, sort of on the engine. So it's not very comfortable for me. Cocooned in there, but it was cool.
Are most Formula One drivers kind of small dudes then, or is that?
Yeah, well, the guy I played was actually quite tall, but a lot thinner than I was at the time. I got down quite skinny eventually, but initially it was tricky, yeah. Most of them are traditionally pretty small, I think.
Yes.
Actually, again, with the Frankly Chat app, and actually on the subject of Rush, how many of the driving stunts did you do yourself?
We did a lot, as much as they'd let us without us potentially killing ourselves, and the film being put on hold and recast. It's kind of bad for business and me if I was dead. But we did a lot, we had cameras kind of attached to our helmets and in our visors, holes drilled into the cameras. Could sit there and get big close-ups of our eyes, and then they'd strap cameras all around the car, and we'd whip around the track and try not to crash. And it was cool. But we had, you know, incredible stunt team as well, sort of the really high-end, risky stuff.
Hi there.
Sup? I wanted to say first of all that I think you are the underdog of the Avengers. You should get more appreciation out there.
Those Avengers, they don't respect me, do they? Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell them.
and you should get more scenes and everything. So I'm just asking. I was asking for Avengers 2. Do you have much more than you did for the first film?
I hope so. I'm going to send them this interview. This
Little interaction right here.
Josh, you think so?
Yeah. Listen to this guy. He's got a good idea.
Everything in Avengers is ramped up though. It's kind of blew me away reading it, and I didn't know how Josh does it, but everyone has just gone up another notch, and the whole thing is bigger and more insane and crazy. And yeah, he's a genius, Josh. Yeah.
I think there's a few Josh fans in here. Actually, when you guys were filming in Africa, at the end of the day, you've got all these Avengers, all these excellent actors around. Was there like text messages at the end of the night, like we're in Albuquerque, let's go hang out?
And in fact, Chris Evans, very early on in the shoot, sent us all a text message and said, meet us at the Rose Bar on such and such street at 9 a.m. Avengers assemble. We all went, did he just say that? And then he wrote, did I just say that? Yes. So we all assembled. And
He showed up for costume.
he was the only one in costume. So all of us on the dance floor, that was an interesting night.
You guys dance. Wait,
The Avengers dance, oh yeah.
Who is the best dancing Avenger? I have to ask this.
I'll say Scarlet.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Nancy, and I have a crazy question for you.
Sure.
I saw an interview with Tom Hiddleston on MTV, and they asked him if he had ever seen you naked.
Right.
And he said yes. He said that you sent him a picture of yourself with your son, and he didn't elaborate, and I was wondering if you could elaborate on why you were saying...
I think we should get Tommy to elaborate. I don't remember this.
This is going in an interesting direction.
There's a couple of flaws there. For starters, my son, I don't have a son. Yeah, maybe Tom wishes. Maybe Tom wishes I'd send him naked.
He says he saw you naked. I just wanted to see if you
Right,
could
you know what? His dressing room is next to mine, so we may have drilled a hole in the wall.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's get somebody squash that rumor. Yeah.
Let's let him here. Where is he?
Alright, yeah.
Thanks, Tom.
Yes, sir.
No, by the way.
Yeah, Mr. Hemsworth, I think that you pull off Thor so well, just like how I believe Robert Downey Jr. pulls off Iron Man so well, and I don't know anyone who could ever replace you as Thor. I mean,
except Downey.
I
switch roles.
That'd be fun. Without calling it out, just awkwardly.
That's right. He'll have a long blonde wig on, and I'll just be in a nice suit or something.
And I actually have a request.
Okay, tread carefully, because we're going for questions and we don't have a lot of time. So, is there a question?
Well, okay. Well, I was wondering, it's because I love to act, and I love performing monologues, and I was hoping if we can do a duet monologue of Bitman Begins, but just at the very end.
I'm going to answer for Chris on that, no offense, but no. No, we just don't have time.
I can't remember my lines. We'll have to rehearse first.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
next time.
no.
Next time.
Yeah. Be back next year.
It's on YouTube though.
Get it to him.
Thanks, buddy. Next time, I promise.
She's wearing a Thor shirt, so I think she's a fan.
Hello. How are you?
nervous.
You're doing great.
I'm very sick. I haven't left the house. 2008 years, and this is
What
what
is
I
your
wanted when I was
favorite
raised.
scene that you did in Thor: The Dark World?
I want him to see this.
Probably the escape scene in the kind of spaceship thing. When me, Loki, and Jane were all trying to escape Asgard. That was funny. It reminded me of being in the back seat with my brothers, telling each other how to drive and criticising everything each other did. And it felt like, it was a throwback to the Star Wars, or those kind of chase scenes. I mean, for us anyway, that was what I got excited about. So that's one of the fun ones. And the big fight scene at the end, going from different worlds, and we had so many different sets to shoot that in, and a lot of wire, harness stunt gags and things, which were awesome. And we shot in Iceland, and we had to roll down the cliff, which was, part volcanic rock, so that wasn't so much fun. That was a little bit uncomfortable, but that end sequence as well.
Thank you.
I was just wondering how much you attribute your role of Thor to your success now.
Oh, I mean, everything, I think, It was, before I got Thor, I was living in LA and not being able to, coming close to not being able to pay the rent. I was about to go back home and back on Mum and Dad's couch, back in Australia. And then I got Thor, so I could pay the rent. And I was able to stay here, and it kicked off everything and opened up all the opportunities for me. So, yeah, everything.
Thor helped to pay the rent.
And make me find people.
Hi.
Hi. I will enjoy acting a lot, and I was wondering what advice you would give to people who would like to pursue acting as a career.
Just, try and be involved in it as much as you can, with acting classes and drama school and, audition as much as you can and make your own projects if you can, shoot short films. And it's easy to kind of sit around and wait for the phone to ring as an actor, and that's, that's the toughest part as well. It's not as easy as being, say, a musician where you can just pick up a guitar and play. It's hard to practice. But if you find people who also have an interest and a passion for it, then just keep at it.
Thank you.
Good question.
Hi, my name's Nicole, and I just wanted to say that you are just such an inspirational actor. Thank you so much for your work. My question for you is, what is the worst part about wearing the Thor costume?
It's hot. It's so hot. It's so heavy and pretty uncomfortable too. It's really hard to get off. If you need to go to the bathroom quickly, that's it. We have this kind of cooling vest that goes under the suit, and it has a hose basically that hangs off the side, and you can tuck it in during the scenes. But in between the scenes, you plug it into this machine which pumps freezing cold water through this vest, because it is incredibly hot, especially when we shot in Albuquerque. It was, 100 degrees or something.
Wow.
It felt intense, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Was there ever a time where they wanted you to wear the helmet more?
I mean, the problem is it kept falling off, and it's a pretty clumsy thing, and it would kind of look cool in moments, There was, we did that in the first film, and then it became it added extra time with everything, and you'd be swinging the hammer and you break off the wings, or it would fall forward and smash me in the nose. So it's just kind of clumsy. Yeah, it looks cool. Bring it back. One guy who likes it.
The helmet contingent is in the house.